phone. Damn. Damn. Diggity. Damn. Let me point this down a little bit. Let's see. I don't know if people are gonna legit show up for this, considering I think this is the first stream I've done on this channel. All right, let's see. So we'll see if anything shows up, and then see if we're gonna risk anything moving forward. So let's see. I thought it says I have 2 viewers. Okay, let's see. Well, I mean, okay, so yeah, Snafu season 3 started today. So of course, I don't imagine I'm gonna get the same amount of views on this video due to it being on this channel. And then my friend KG just told me some stuff, so we're gonna test it with the stream and see what happens. I'm gonna wait a little bit to see if anyone pops in. This says 3 viewers. I'll wait a little bit to see if anyone pops in first. So give me 1 second. Take this and minimize it for a second. And see how many people we get to show up as we talk about Snafu for an elongated amount of time. This should be fun. Also, let me know if the audio's fine, if you can hear me properly. Any stream's fine as long as it's trying to entertain us. I'm glad you enjoy. Okay, so everything's cool. We got about 3 viewers. I don't imagine we're going to get a lot more viewers realistically, but we'll see. But let's see. Well, hello, everybody. For the anime fans on this channel, hello. This one's going to be interesting because, like I said, the current issue is that supposedly, from what I heard, they're taking down videos of the reviews, even if they don't have footage in them. That's what KG told me. So I'm a little concerned about doing this, but I figure if I do this one video and this one video gets striked, especially because this is going to be like a stream, I'm not going to show any footage. We're not even going to use audio clips. We're just going to talk about the episode. I'm hoping everything goes fine, but I won't know until I test it. So we're going to test and see if the live stream approach works. And if it doesn't, then we can't do it. Give me 1 second, though. I need to check one thing, and I need to cut the audio off. So 1 second. Okay, so I don't think we're gonna get a lot more viewers than this. Like I said, this is the first time I'm even streaming. I actually had to go through the live stream setup on this channel. For the first time, because I don't normally stream on the anime channel. But I thought for Snafu season 3, it would make sense, and especially because of the summer school schedule I'm on. I'm off Fridays anyway, so I figured I'd go ahead and stream some of this. Let me just type this. All right, let's put this down. All right, so let's just get into it. So I would imagine if you were coming, if you hadn't watched Snafu since like the end of season two, like if you like when season two ended, I think back in 20, or currently I'm off Fridays. I don't imagine that'll change once we get back into like a normal time. But right now for summer, I'm off Fridays. But anyways, if you were coming off of season two and you didn't watch season two for like, I think it's been like 3 years, 3 or 4 years, I think, since season two since season two aired. If you were coming off of that and you hadn't watched Snafu since then, I would highly imagine this episode was some pure grade, like what the fuckery. Most of it you can understand. Oh, the COVID. I'm negative. I'm sorry. I don't think I told you guys. Yeah, I'm negative for COVID. So I don't have COVID. I forgot to say that. But anywho, so if you were coming off of that, I imagine this first episode was kind of confusing because there's a couple elements of this episode that you need some context for to understand properly. So first thing is this episode literally takes place right after. It's almost, I wouldn't say immediately, but it's within like a few hours after the ending of the second season. It's like, oh, the story's gonna be kind of long, so let's wait a little bit. And so they're hanging out, drinking, getting drinks, for the snow to kind of clear up, and then they're talking about it. So to give kind of a long story, because it really goes in the direction I was already thinking it was gonna go into, which is that Yukinosha kind of goes into kind of her dependency problem. Like I think she's somewhat aware of it, but essentially the long story short is that Haruna, being the older sister, was pretty much meant slash destined by the parents, specifically the mother. Oh, you're gonna take over. You're gonna be the successor. And Haruna wanted, or Haruno, I always fuck up how to pronounce that name properly, but I think it's Haruno. Wanted her sister to live like a normal life. Wanted Yukinosha to be kind of her own person and live properly. The problem is, considering Yukinosha never really seen, from what it sounds like, Yukinosha's attention from her parents was never really there. Her mother was like a pseudo dictator, and her father doesn't get mentioned that much. So my assumption is that her big sister is what she ended up gleaming to. Yeah, her big sister is what she ended up gleaming to, and it created this very bad dependency issue where all she ever did was cling to her big sister. And Haruno, not knowing how to handle it, said, because Haruno's not only dealing with like her sister who won't like be her own person, but she's also dealing with the pressure that comes with being the older sibling and being viewed as like, oh, you're the one who's gonna have to do this and that and all this other shit. Like I think Haruno was dealing with a bunch of stress, and so the only way she could figure out to kind of like push Yukino away was to kind of be the antagonistic sister that we know her as from the show. And this is what created the Ice Queen persona, because not only was she dealing with, now she not only did she have, I wouldn't say, I hate to say it, but like neglectful like parents, and then a big sister who doesn't really want anything to do with you. She's also still getting bullied in school, on top of a dictator of a mother who's like, because I have a sneaking suspicion that Yuki Noshita was meant to marry Hayama. Like that was another one of those like decorations her mother made. You're gonna marry Hayato. Um, a lot of this is kind of created this Ice Queen persona that Yuki Noshita through the entirety of the first season has, and a good chunk of the second season has. And then obviously that got broken away through Yui and Hikigaya's actions, kind of slowly broke down the walls and kind of that's one of the reasons. Hell, she even confirms this by saying like, "Then I'll be starting from square one," or like, "Then I can truly start." She says something to that effect when she's talking to Hikigaya and Yui, which just kind of correlates with what I was thinking anyway. When you break down the Ice Queen wall, was never her real self. That was a persona to help her kind of get through those tough times. Her real self is like this dependent child who wishes she could have someone to like follow and tell her what to do and shit. That's the kind of Yuki Noshita that exists currently. But she also doesn't know a lot of things, and it kind of comes back to the whole Hikigaya genuine situation, where Hikigaya kind of gave Yuki Noshita an understanding of like, listen, sometimes in these situations, if you don't say anything, no one will understand. But even if you don't say, but even if you do say it, there's a chance that they'll misunderstand. But the it's the lesser of two evils, because at least when you say it, there's no, even if they may take interpret it a different way, you're at least saying it. Like, it's out in the open. They've heard the words. It's not a be all end all, but in a lot of cases, it's usually a good bet that if I tell you how I feel, you have a better chance of understanding it. And I think Yuki Noshita has come to that conclusion based off of what happened with Hikigaya. What this then creates is that she's like, I need to go back home and ask my sister some questions, because a lot of the interaction up until this season, or I would say towards the latter end of second season, was a lot of indirect shit. Where like Yuki Noshita would say something and then it wouldn't be fully addressed. Like Yuki Noshita would say something, but no one would ever ask questions, and it would lead to misunderstandings, like any other slice of life romance comedy anime. The same thing goes, uh, and so, and it wasn't until the latter end of the second season where they were like, "We can't keep going this way," and you can, and like they had their little breakdown moment and kind of reevaluate and assess things. I've loved the fact that the dialogue is just as good as it was in the early seasons. It's kind of like a more open, fleshed out dialogue where they're more open with each other and casual, to the point where Yuki Noshita and Yui all kind of flow in that conversation pocket really well, and it's fucking great. In the first half, it's like, listen, I need to go address some things with Haruno before I can even move forward, because I think she mentions in the episode how one of her real goals is to like follow up her dad. Like do her she wants to follow up in her dad's job. Also, real quick, just to quickly address it, lightning the COVID thing was easy. It's kind of annoying, but the actual procedure takes like a minute. They stick two things in your nose, hold them in there for 10 seconds, and then pull them out. That's the test. But yeah, I think she mentions in the episode she wants to kind of like follow in her dad's footsteps and do his career, but she needs to confirm things with Haruno first before she can even go into that side of the coin. So the end of that little section ends with like, and I think, oh, and just to boil it down, the request is essentially them to be with her, to watch her as this thing goes through. Essentially, she wants moral support. It wasn't nothing crazy, but it kind of gets into that whole premise of like Yuki Noshita's gonna have to do things on her own, and which is what I thought with the opening kind of hints at it too. Like, she's gonna have to do things on her own, because when you're someone who's dependent and relies on people so much, you tend to not, you feel like you don't have any confidence in yourself or the ability to stand on your own 2 feet. She even references things like when she says there are things I wanted to do and things I want to do, and how those are two different things. It's usually a reference because it's like, I think it's referencing the second season where during that whole student council arc where Hikigaya and Yui didn't understand that Yuki Noshita wanted to become student council president, because it would she didn't think it would change their group. But Yui and Hikigaya, misunderstanding her, thought she was doing it for a completely different reason, and through Hikigaya's actions, it made Aroha president and stopped Yuki Noshita from becoming president. But he doesn't come to the realization of maybe he was wrong when it was like, oh, I think Yuki Noshita wanted to become president because she thought it wouldn't matter what the name of the club was. She thought as long as they were together, they could still be together in the student council, because obviously what would have happened is that Yuki Noshita would have became president and like brought Hikigaya and Yuki Noshita and Yui with her, so it shouldn't have made a difference. But I think they were so focused on like keeping what they had in the club so tightly knit, um it took away that they didn't realize that side of the coin. So I think she even references that stuff too. That's the first half of the goddamn episode. The second half of the fucking episode is a whole bag of a train wreck, primarily due to the fact that so here's the thing. The second half is actually really good, and I love it. I love having a Komachi and Hikigaya centric like second half. The reason why it's a problem is because if you didn't read the light novels or you don't know anything about the light novels, you don't understand uh what's the focus with Sakaki all of a sudden, or Kawasaki, or Saki, depending on how you want to call it. So here's the thing. My Teen Romantic Snafu, the light novel, which is what the anime is based off of, initially, obviously, the way its title implies, we're not going to be a traditional romance comedy, but the light novels have way more harem moments in it than the anime ever portrays, because there's a bunch of sequences the anime just never fucking does. And one of the jokes we learned early on is that there used to be a joke during the second season where it was like, yeah, they cut out like a bunch of Kawasaki stuff. They specifically cut out a bunch of Kawasaki stuff to kind of like keep the focus on Yui and Yukinoshita. So the Kawasaki stuff only really got referenced in the first season with her brother, and her sister you do see in the second season, but she's like a background character. It's during the like the, I don't know what you call it, I guess the I call it the hands arc, but it's like the pageant, right? You do see her in sequences there, but like she actually in the light novel she has like full on like chapters or sequences devoted to her, and he's already met the younger sister. But in the anime, they never met because they didn't use those sequences. So what ends up happening is that the anime does kind of what they did in the second season, where they flash back a moment that was never animated. They do this in the second season with when Hikigaya and Yukinoshita go out to the mall, and there's a sequence in which they're forcing each other to like pay for this thing, and that was never no, I think it was a Crane game thing, I forget what it was, but the point is it was a sequence that was never animated in the first season, so they went and reanimated it for the second season. The third season does the same thing. There's a sequence, actually there are two sequences. They reanimate something from the first episode of the anime, and then they go and reanimate a Saki sequence from the first season that was never shown, because in the light novel they explain how Hikigaya finds out where Sagamine is, and it's shown through this flashback we get to see in this episode that, oh, Kawasaki already knew how to get, he knew the place, but Kawasaki told him how to get to it. That's a sequence that was never shown. So because of that, you get these weird flirting sequences with Kawasaki here that makes sense if you're a light novel reader, but if you're not a light novel reader, you're like, what the fuck was that about? Like the whole I love you sequence, I think he probably said it like, oh man, thanks, I love you. But like she took it as like a confession. There's actually a lot more flirting romantic sequences with Kawasaki they took out of the anime, like I said, to keep focus on you and Yuki Noshita. So what you end up getting is a bunch of those sequences that are never like fully shown / addressed. Which is what creates the awkward, which makes this episode come off a little weird, because you're like, well, Kawasaki and Hikigaya don't interact that much. Well, they have, we just haven't seen it. And it makes also sense considering the whole theme of the second half is like the younger siblings growing up, or just growing up in general. And you get this really nice dynamic. I love Komachi and Hikigaya's dynamic because it's obvious that like he's still kind of like spoiling her, and he loves his sister a lot. It's kind of like when you don't want to acknowledge your sister's growing up, or your baby, or like the younger sibling is not growing up. So like he keeps doing things he used to do with her, or keep implying things he used to do with her that she obviously is too old for her to like indulge in anymore. And you get, and it's like this really funny fucking dialogue sequence, like when he tries to like share cups with her, and she's like, "Listen, that's kind of gross. We're not doing that." Or like if he called going out with her like tomorrow as like a date, and he was like, and she was like, "Don't call that because now I don't want to go." Like it's this constant back and forth, and Kawasaki's kind of there. I actually like the dynamic of Kawasaki, her younger sister, who seems to have a real bias for Hikigaya, mind you. it's also weird to see him free flowing in conversations without like the other girls around him. He only used to do this in the earlier seasons with like Zymokaza and Saika or Totsuka. Now he can actually do. He does it with Saki, which is funny because, like I said, we don't fucking see Saki interact with him that much. Um, but it all leads up to this really cute scene. Like you get the Saki stuff in the beginning, then you have kind of a montage of them hanging out together, and then you get this real shit at the end of the episode where she really does appreciate what he's done for her, and a way in the way she acts sometimes with him, it's kind of like her way of trying to make it up to him because now she's become more and more capable and dependable. And you get this really sweet sequence, which is why it's the thumbnail for this stream, of her like doing the full prostrating, like bowing your head and being like, "Thank you for all that you've done." And I'm like, "No, you don't get to be this cute." And it's the only other time we've seen Hikigaya cry in the anime, and it's because he's like a fucking he's the it's the older brother hit when you realize your younger sibling has grown up and doesn't need you as much, and she's become like she's slowly becoming like her own person or like a woman, and you're sitting there in the back like fuck, because you're like, I know it's happening and I'm happy for her and I'm excited, but at the same time, not my baby sister. That's literally the vibe you get. And that's why when he got cried, I was like, no, I knew it. I knew it was coming. I knew it was going to have to come. It's called growth and change. It wasn't going to just happen with him and his relationships with Yukinosha and Yui, and they weren't going to grow in their own ways. It was also going to happen with everyone around him, like his sister, his baby fucking sister. No. 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 Ah! I'm just like, oh, God. Oh man, it's the first episode of the season, but because of that weird janky history with Kawasaki, part of the episode probably came off a little confusing. But that's essentially our main current goals: is that Komachi's growing up, and Kawasaki's crush is still there, I think, still, and Yukinosha needs to deal with her big sister to get some context and understanding of what the situation is with her family, and she just wants the moral support of Hikigai and Yui. We just don't know what that really means. Is that just for them to stay distant but supportive, or what? I think it's just for. I think she just wants a support system because for those who don't realize, Yukinosha never had a support system. Her support system was her fucking emotionally fucked up older sister who also was going through her own shit. So like, it's only the first episode. We'll see what happens. We'll see what comes from it. But man, that's a hell of a way to start the season. I'm not gonna lie. When Hikigai cried his sister, I was like, no, because I knew what that man felt as an older brother myself. When your sister grows up and starts becoming her own person, it's like a beautiful fucking thing. And you love her to death and you want her to do well and you want her to grow and be happy. But at the same time, in the same vein, in the same token, you're in the corner like, because you miss those days. You miss the days where she was little and she would follow you around everywhere and she'd be like, big brother, like it's cute shit. That's one of the reasons why you wanted to spoil her in the first place, because you wanted to help her because that was family and they wanted to do well. And I'm just like, no, not my baby sister. It's all about perspective, obviously. But that's why this episode is what I kind of view as like growing up, change, because I mean they'll be graduating high school soon, and their younger siblings are about to go into high school, I believe. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think they're about to go into high school. So, damn, damn. But like I said, I was only 3 people here, so I wasn't expecting like a huge crowd because I never stream on here. I'm not gonna make every episode review a stream, but I thought the first one deserved to be any. I was gonna answer any questions, but I don't think there's anyone in here like that to do that. And also, we need to figure out whether or not if the truth is true about fucking about them taking down episode reviews. Because if they strike the channel, that means I can't do episode reviews. So fudge nuggets, or I'll do them, or what I might do is do them on the Patreon or whatever, and then like when they chill out, hopefully I can then upload it later to the YouTube. But we'll see. So this is gonna be the test. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, we'll see. But I'm not using any footage, no music or anything, so hopefully we should be good. Hopefully. But I think I'm gonna leave it at that. Yeah, it was a good episode, Mondo. If anyone needs clarification, I don't mind doing that for a little bit. Just let me know. Because like I said, I've kind of gone through my whole spiel of it, but I know some of that shit was probably a little confusing. Yeah, oh yeah, because Mondo, you missed it. It's good. It's a good episode, bro. The Komachi shit hit me hard, bro. Because I'm an older brother myself, so like, and like I said, I really appreciate so much emotion from Hikigaya nowadays. Like he's now like the season one's like he still have his deadpan humor and he's still the way he is, but like man, that Komachi shit hit me hard, bro. It's good. It's good. It's kind of janky because you can tell the episode split into two parts. You can tell that like they wanted to finish out the second season stuff. The Kawasaki. Here's the thing about Kawasaki, and I'll quickly re-explain it. Is that Kawasaki has had moments in the other seasons. The problem is that the light novel has all those moments, and the anime never showed a lot of those moments. Like the flashback they do to season one, that's in the light novel, but they never showed it because the anime was trying to focus on Yui and Yukinosha for the most part. So they kind of ignored the side characters. I think there's some stuff with Totsuka and Zaimogaza in the second season that gets cut out. Or part of it gets cut out. The only reason why I even think Kawasaki got the moment here was primarily due to the fact that her shit ties in with Komachi stuff. I think that's the only way they're gonna show some of that other shit. There was like this whole meme of Saki stuff because of the second, because they avoided like her little sister we met. Hikigaya is already met, but they took out the sequence in which they met. I kind of wish it was OVAs. Yeah, this will be the final season with the canon ending because the light novel is over. So whatever the ending the OVA has, I mean the light novel has is what we're gonna get in the anime. I would assume, and I'm not emotionally ready for it. I'll be real with you. This is a hell of a first episode with the primary themes being about growing up. I think that you can tell that's the theme of this episode. And I'm like, oh, I'm not emotionally ready for it, bro. I'm not. But I already know what's going to happen. I know, and I'm not that I know the ending of the anime, but like, I know no matter what happens, this probably would break me down. Because I geeked out during the Komachi. I said, don't do it. I said, Komachi, don't do it. You're still supposed to be the cute little sister. Don't fucking do it. And then she did it and it hurt me. Yeah, I would say once you watch the episode and try it, watch it and then come back to this review if it's still up. So I guess I'll quickly tell you guys that too, for those who are just popping in. For whatever reason, KG already has told me that apparently they're striking down episode reviews of the first episode for Snafu, even if it doesn't have footage. So I'm a little concerned about how I'm going to move forward. This episode literally is a test. I'm going to put this out and see how people respond to it. If it gets struck down within the first week, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I guess Patreon might be the only thing I can do to do episode reviews on, because if I do, because if they're striking them down on YouTube, regardless if I'm using footage or not, I'm screwed. And I'm not using footage, mind you. So we can only see what's up. But yeah, thank you, Mondo, and thank you, Antrite, for hanging out, and Lightning. It says I have 5 viewers. I don't know what the other 2 are, but either way, thank you guys for hanging out and showing up. I don't want to make this too long. I just wanted to kind of like give my thoughts and opinions on the episode. Like I said, go back and watch the beginning of it, where I kind of go through the majority of this is just the episode. I might even put timestamps if people want me to, so people can get to the review if I do streams or not. Or if streams are the way we have to go, we could probably do that too. So we'll see. But yeah, I don't want to make this too long for people who want to watch it on the after replay. So if you guys want to chat in the comments and shit, I will definitely look at those and respond to those or whatever. Especially for Antrite, who will like needs to go back and rewatch the first episode. But leave your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. And thank you guys for watching and for the support, guys. I truly appreciate it. And hopefully copyright isn't a bitch and screws me over. Even though, once again, there's no footage, no audio, no music, no nothing. The only copyrighted material you could argue is the fucking thumbnail, which realistically isn't really copyrighted because I'm not using it's a representation of the video. I didn't get donation. I didn't get any donation from you, Lightning. I didn't get any donations in general. Unless you're talking about, I don't see anything on Super Chat and I don't see anything on Streamlabs. So yeah, I didn't get any donations, bro. But if you, on Patreon, you mean you changed it, or I didn't see anything pop up for it. Yeah, that cliffhanger is a bitch. I don't think it tells me if you change it, or if it does, it won't. It might tell me a little bit later. I'll check it. It's fine. Oh, that. Yeah. I already got the monthly payment, dude. I appreciate that. I thought you meant something else. I was like, no. I got. Yeah, I already got that, Lightning. I appreciate it though. Yeah, I already got it though. Thank you. But yeah, we'll just leave it at that. So, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you guys for the love. Hopefully, copyright be friendly, please. Copyright be friendly. And with all that being said, thank you. Have a good night. Be safe. Be careful. And live well. And don't cry too much at the episode of Entrite. Because fuck. I don't even want to spoil it for you. Go watch it. Peace. And then hopefully, and next week we're gonna keep this weekly as long as copyright doesn't screw me. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know in tweets and other videos. But damn, god damn.